Yeah, so this is what we're talking about today, blood alcohol content. So last lesson I had with you, we spoke about distance, speed, time and stopping distance. And one of our examples was Trevor, who was going 45 k's an hour and needed to stop. And we made the scenario that he was in the school zone, so he was going 5 k's over the speed limit. And a little kid in the primary school darted out between a couple of cars, 2 cars ahead, to chase a ball, and we calculated that he wouldn't be able to actually stop in time at 45. So what we're going to do is we're going to go on with that a little bit more in terms of driver safety, and that's what blood alcohol content is about. So blood alcohol content, BAC, you'll hear, you see ads about it all the time. It is the number of grams of alcohol in 100 millilitres of blood. Alright? It is the measure of the amount of grams of alcohol in 100 millilitres of blood. So a BAC of 0.05 is 0.05 grams or 50 milligrams of alcohol for every 100 ml of blood. That's actually quite a lot. Alright, that's actually quite a lot of alcohol in your body if you're at 0.05. And it's influenced by a number of different factors. So we're influenced by a number of different things. So the number of standard drinks. A standard drink is determined by the amount of alcohol in it per mil, pretty much. And different drinks have a different sized standard drink. So the stronger the alcoholic content, the smaller the drink has to be counted as a standard drink. Other things that influence your BAC will be how many drinks you've had in a time period. So if you've had one drink, which you shouldn't be having because you're still only in year 11, if you've had one drink and you wait 4 or 5 hours and then you drive or you test it, you should be okay because it should have worn off by then. If you have 5 drinks and an hour and then try to drive, you're going to be way over the limit. We're going to see that in a minute. Okay, so the amount of time is a factor. The person's mass, so a bigger person will be affected less than a smaller person. It's just a fact of biology. Another fact of biology is gender. Because, without getting too far into it, women's bodies and men's bodies are different.
What?
You can't get away from that. There are things in women's bodies that are not in men's bodies. There are things in men's bodies that are not in women's bodies. That's a fact. Can't get away from that. Okay? That's just a biology thing that affects blood alcohol content. Alright? That's not a statement on anyone's opinions or anything like that. That's just something that happens. Okay? Your general fitness is a factor. Your general fitness is a factor. A fit person will be affected differently to a person who is not fit. Alright, that's a fact as well. Your general health. The healthier you are, or the differences in health, if you're a person who gets sick all the time, gets colds all the time, you'll be affected differently to someone who never gets cold. Alright? And liver function, because what does the liver do? Can anyone remember their basic biology? What does the liver do?
It cleans out your body.
It cleans toxins out of your body. Alcohol is a toxin. Hate to tell you this, hate to be the one to spread the bad news. Alcohol is a toxin. It is bad for you. You really shouldn't drink a lot of it. Or any of it because you guys are all underage. But it is bad for you. It makes you, the more you make your liver work, the more energy it requires to work and the less well you feel. Right? Your liver's important, you've got to look after it, don't drink alcohol. Right? Again, I'll say it, under 18, shouldn't be drinking it at all. Okay? That's kind of a law thing, a legal thing, should not be drinking it at all. That's the basic gist of blood alcohol content. To be able to do blood alcohol content, you need these bits of information. Can you please write these down? You need 2 different formulas. The reason we have 2 different formulas is because, again, you are affected differently if you are male to if you are female. That is just a fact of life. You need a different one for male people and a different one for female people. BAC obviously stands for blood alcohol content. and for the number of standard drinks. Alright, so remember that a standard drink will be different in size depending on what kind of drink you are drinking. The number of hours spent drinking, and the mass in kilograms of the person who has been drinking. Alright, so that's the information that you need. I'll bring up the question that we're going to answer. Give you a chance to write that down as well. Okay, so let's have a look at this because we don't have a huge amount of time. Let's have a look at this. So we have Joseph. Joseph is 82 kilograms. That's an important piece of information. So I'm going to hopefully this works. That works. Oh yes, excellent. He's 82 kilograms. He has drunk 7 standard drinks.
Big fella.
7, I should put that all the way around. 7 standard drinks in the past 2 hours. So there's another bit of information that we need. 2 hours. He's stopped by police for a random breath test. We already know he's in trouble, right?
Yeah, he's gone.
He's just had 7 drinks in 2 hours. He's in a lot of trouble. What would be an estimate of Joseph's BAC using the formula above? So we've been given the formula, we're going to be using this one. This way.
How do we know?
Right, so Joseph is apparently a male name, and we've also got here where it says he. So we are told he's male. We're going to use the formula above, answer to correct to 3 decimal places. That's another thing that we also need to know about. Alright. So, what am I going to do first, guys? What do you think might be the first thing I do?
Write down the numbers.
Write down the numbers? Write down the formula. I'm going to write down the formula.
Oh, it's close.
Because we need to know what we're plugging into. We need to know what we're using. So here we have BAC male because we've been told Joseph is male. 10n minus 7.5h all over 6.8m. What was n? What was n? Number of standard drinks. H, hours drinking. M, mass in kilograms. What's going to go on my top line? What am I going to times by 10?
7.
7, because that's the number of drinks. Don't know why you want to drink 7, but anyway. 7.5 times
10.
2 because it's 2 hours. 6.8 times 82, that's his mass in
How
kilograms.
heavy he is.
Ta-da! I feel like it's pretty straightforward. Whether or not you think that's another matter, but it's just a matter of knowing what means what and what numbers go where. Alright. We can type that straight into our calculator exactly like it looks like on the board.
Including the n.
The n is 7.
So we go, 10 times 7 minus 7.5 times 2 on the top line of a
You got
fraction.
nothing.
6.8 times 82 on the bottom of the
Not
fraction.
more than I do.
Hit the equals button. Hit the equals button and you should get that. Alright, so what do we need our answer in? 3 decimal places. That was part of the question. 3 decimal places. So what is that going to be to 3 decimal places? Who can tell me? Who can tell me? 3 decimal places. 0.099.
Oh my god, I was going to say that.
Okay. Notice something else. I've gone from an equal sign
To a minus.
to a approximately equal sign.
Wait, what's the
Right?
difference?
Because it's an estimate. These aren't exact figures. They are an estimate. Right? So it's our best guess, an educated guess basically. Because to get the perfect number, the exact amount, we'd actually have to do a blood test. So then we can say it's estimated to be 0.099. What is the legal limit for an unrestricted driver in New South Wales? For an unrestricted driver in New South Wales, it's 0.05. He's twice that. He's twice the legal limit. That's getting into ridiculous points. This is almost in where he's going to be really, really sick. For restricted drivers, it's 0.02, so that includes bus drivers, truck drivers, emergency services, all those sorts of people. For you guys, if you're on your learner's permit, it really should be 0. Alright, you're actually limited to 0. And if you're on your learner's permit, the person in your passenger seat, so your supervising driver, also has that limit. So you can't go out with your parents and then get blind rolling drunk,
Why?
and then they put you in the driver's seat and say, well, I'm your supervising driver, you can drive, because they can still lose their license in the passenger seat.
Can you lose
Because you
your
have to be
license?
supervised. Supervised by someone sober.